Hi guys and welcome to my channel. Today I want to show you a very unique recipe of Uzbek bread, which is also called naan or lepeshka. Bread in Central Asia is sacramental. There's so many rituals to prove that when one goes on a long journey, a piece of bread from a whole pie consumed and the rest of it reserved to ensure the safe return. There are two different types of bread in Central Asia. One is called naan, one is called patir. Patir is a layered bread and it's usually made for special occasions like childbirth or weddings. I'm gonna show you today the recipe for the bread from Samarkand, and to make that bread in Samarkand they use clay ovens. I am gonna use just a regular oven and I'm gonna show you how this bread is made. To make two 10-inch breads, you're going to need 6 cups of bread flour, which is also called strong flour, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of salt, 50 grams of butter, which is melted, 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast, 250 milliliters of milk, 250 milliliters of water. You're also going to need some heavy cream and some sesame seeds for decoration. Let's talk about bread flour for a second. The reason I'm using the bread flour is not as finely milled as your regular all-purpose flour. It's also higher in proteins, which results in much better quality bread and more kind of rustic type of bread. So we're gonna need about 6 cups of bread flour. Then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar on one side of our flour mountain and 2 tablespoons of salt. And then in the middle we're going to put 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast. Then to warm up the milk, I'm going to do half and half. I'm going to do half of the amount in milk and half of the amount of warm water. That's going to warm up our milk into room temperature, and that's exactly what we need to make that dough. Then we're going to roll up our sleeves and we're going to start making this dough by hand. I've tried to make it in the machine, but I think with your hands you can feel the consistency better. And as always, when kneading the dough, just keep one hand clean so you can grab your utensils or cups. In my case, it's like switching on and off the camera, but you need that other hand clean. And we're gonna start kneading the dough until all the flour is combined. At that point, we're gonna start mixing in our melted butter. And at first, guys, it's gonna feel like squishy and slimy, but just keep working that butter in because after that, we're gonna transfer that dough on a table surface and we're gonna finish it off. But you will see how the consistency of the dough is going to start changing. And at this point, we're going to use both of our hands and then we're going to get to work. And I mean to work, we're going to need a lot of kneading of this dough because right now it's looking kind of grainy. We are going to start kneading the dough. And the technique I use, I roll it into the log, I fold it, then roll it into the log, then fold it. And as you can see, the consistency of the dough becomes much smoother. And at that point, we're gonna stop and we're gonna put our dough in our bowl. We're gonna cover it with a plastic wrap and we're gonna leave it for at least 2 hours to proof. Then if you guys have this warming drawer in your oven, use that. It's kind of very useful. You're just going to turn it on 10 minutes before that and turn it off, then stick your dough in there and boom, after 2 hours your dough is ready. It's nice, it's fluffy, it's doubled in size. So we're going to cut it in half and then we're going to form each half into a ball. And we're going to leave it on the counter to proof again for another 30 minutes because by rolling it we kind of knocked out all the air out of it, so we need this dough to come back to its full potential. Then you need to preheat your oven to 420 degrees Fahrenheit and put empty roasting pan on the bottom. After 30 minutes of second proof, we're going to start forming our bread. We're going to flatten it out first and then we're going to start pushing the dough from the center to the end, creating borders in a very thin center, and which is a traditional look for this bread. Then you guys, if you have a pizza pan, that would be great because it's gonna create much crustier bottom because it has this little holes in it. We're gonna transfer it on the pizza tray, but if you don't have it, you can put it on the baking tray and then just continue forming your bread and to desired size. And then we're going to use this very unique tool, which is made by very skillful people in Uzbekistan. It's called chekich, which makes this pretty pattern in the center of the bread and also helps for the bread not to rise in the center. We're going to brush it with heavy cream, and we're going to sprinkle it with sesame seeds. And then remember this roaster that we put on the bottom of our oven. We're going to put 1 cup of hot water in there. That's going to create the steam for the bread to be crusty. And we're going to start baking our bread, which takes about 20 minutes. And as you can see, in 20 minutes, this bread is completely done. And of course, you can make that punctured look in the center with just 2 forks. But look at the quality of this bread, guys. It's still warm. We're gonna cover it with a clean towel. We're gonna let it sit and kind of cool down a little bit, and then you can enjoy it. This recipe is extremely amazing. It helps your bread to stay fresh for a long time. I've actually made this bread like a week ago and it was still fresh. So I hope you guys like this recipe. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Enjoy your bread. Have a great day, guys. Bye.